Thank you, Mrs. Preeti. It's wonderful to have you with us. We're
Thanks,
super
Sonia.
delighted.
Thanks, Sonia.
You're the first women president, and
That's
it's
correct.
wonderful to see women at the helm of things.
Thank
And
you.
Archie's congratulations for
Thanks
the
a lot.
24th edition of the GCA. So, what's been the key highlight of the conference?
So, our theme this year was Actuarial Excellence in the Age of Disruption, and very aptly so, because if you're looking at the complexities around the world, the host of things. Climate is one area, AI is another one. You have a lot of political turbulence across the globe, and we are global yet local at the same time. So, and this is a combination where problems become more complex, and disruption is there to stay. So we have to see how, as a profession, we can gear up to address this kind of a disruption and make a difference in people's lives. So I think that the entire set of papers that we have and the presentations are all covering different facets of this kind of a disruption. Whether you talk of climate, you talk of cyber, you talk of AI, ML, and how as actuaries we can make a difference to the world. So yeah, interesting, and we're having extremely interesting topics lined up for the next couple of days.
I believe you've got a global participation.
Yes, we do have. So we have global actuarial professions participating. So you have the International Actuarial Association president who's come down. You have the IFOA, that is the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries president, who's come. You have the Society of Actuaries president who has come down, and you have the immediate past president of Casualty Actuarial Society who's come down. So yes, it is global in that sense, but you also have representation from countries like Singapore, China, Australia, US, UK, and yeah, we sort of pretty much covered many of these countries.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah.
So, how do you think actuaries can contribute to the Amrit Kal?
So Amrit Kal has one very important angle which says insurance for all by 2047, right? And then we're also talking about social security for people by 2047. So India has a huge gap, a protection gap, whether you're talking about a longevity protection gap in terms of pension, you have an insurance protection gap. So the gap is huge. And I think actuaries can play a big role in this. In terms of coming up with innovative products, both in terms of design of the product as well as delivery of the product.
Sure.
So both cases actuaries have an immense role to play, and I like to in India, no conversation is complete in 2025 without mentioning the Triveni Sangam and the Mahakumbh,
That's true.
right?
Yes.
It is an outstanding festival,
Rightly so.
recognized globally.
Sure.
So, if you just try to draw an inspiration from the Triveni Sangam, there are three things that one can look at. The first one is innovation. For actuaries, how we can innovate, we can personalize both design and delivery of products. How can we innovate using technology? How can we innovate using data? And also make sure that we don't not only cater to the people who are at the top end, or maybe cater to people who are below a certain income, but it is a missing middle who we can actually cater to. That is going to be immensely important, and actuaries have a big role to play from an innovation standpoint. The second one is collaboration. As I said before, the problems are getting increasingly complex in the world, and none of us can sit in our homes or in our own professions to solve it. We have to collaborate. So collaboration is not just with global professional actuarial bodies, but also collaboration with other professions within India. You're talking about banks, you're talking about agricultural experts, you're talking about data scientists, and behavioral economists.
Sure.
How can you actually combine the expertise and the skills of multiple professions to address the needs of the complex world that we are living in? The third important thing is value creation. That is so important for us to be able to make a difference to the consumer of whatever we are doing. Unless they see value in what we are doing, it is just a theoretical exercise, right? So we need to make sure that what we are doing creates value for them. They recognize the value, and that is the whole purpose of the exercise for us. So I think the Triveni Sangam of talking about innovation, collaboration, and value creation is what will lead to a sustained growth of the profession in the long run.
Wonderful. That is beautifully articulated. So we are staying in an AI era and using a lot of data. So how do we ensure, how do we adhere to the governance and the ethical use of it?
So if you see actuaries and the whole actual profession is highly regulated. There is a very strong governance standard and ethics standard that we adhere to. Now, that was of what was happening in the past, but with the use of AI, with the use of a lot of data, I think the ethics of using the data gets very important. So it's important for all of us to sort of understand the guardrails within which we have to operate, yet innovate at the same time. And I know it's challenging. You think that you cannot innovate without sort of loosening certain guardrails. No, but that's not how it should be. I think we should be able to innovate while making sure that the guardrails of ethics, governance, etc., are in place, for which the profession is known. I mean, people are confident of the kind of advice actuaries give because at the back of it, they know there's a very strong governance around it. So we should not let that get loosened in the process.
Yes. So I'll shift the gears a bit, and I would like to know, what is your leadership mantra?
My leadership mantra as a president over here is collaboration. Take everybody along. This is not, as I said, problems are complex, so you need to collaborate with other professional bodies. I would say that even within the profession, I think collective minds make a huge difference, and it's not my way or the highway. I believe that there are brighter minds within the profession who may not be in the council, but I believe in carrying a collective wisdom along to make sure that what decisions we take are sort of well thought through, sustained, and sort of they remain for some time, and they don't just get reversed when the next leadership comes. So otherwise it just doesn't make sense.
Right. A quick recap of the key takeaways and what's a big opportunity
for actuaries.
Yes.
All of us know about India as a market in terms of growth and the immense potential India has for people. And I read somewhere that India is actually a different investment class in itself, as an asset class. So that's a kind of potential, the world is looking at from India perspective. I would just like to sum up and say, India is the right place to be in, and being an actuary is the right profession to be in this day and age.
Fantastic. It was a pleasure talking to you, and wish you many
thanks a lot.
of success.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.